In this video, I'll be showcasing 10 of your guys' unstable exotic weapon ideas. If you guys happen to enjoy this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing and using code WATSOG in the Fortnite item shop. And yeah, let's get straight into the video. Alright, first we have the unstable storm flip sniper rifle. This is an exotic version of the Storm Scout sniper rifle, and when you hit an opponent with the unstable storm flip sniper rifle, a mini storm flip will be created at your opponent's location. So this kind of just takes the theme of the original Storm Scout and just kind of drives it up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? The original Storm Scout tells you where the storm locations will be. This Storm Scout creates a storm, you know what I'm saying? This effect I don't think would be too game changing in my personal opinion. I feel like it would be kind of similar to the Lawless Stink Rifle from Chapter 6 Season 2, where it would not be good because of its exotic effect, but it would be good because of the base weapon, you know? The original Storm Scout is a solid weapon, don't get me wrong, it's not anything crazy, but it's very solid, you know? The one-shot headshot with like the 6 shots in the clip, very good for a sniper, although it doesn't do 100 to the body, still very good. So I think this would be one of those exotics where the exotic effect is just a little bonus, you know? Like if you see the exotic and you have the normal version, you're gonna take the exotic, but it's not a game changer if you don't have it, you know what I'm saying? Kind of similar to the Frostfire in that kind of way. Next up, we have the unstable overclocked 6 shooter. This is an exotic version of the 6 shooter, obviously it's kind of in the name, and the unstable overclocked 6 shooter has an increased magazine size, and every time you hit an opponent with this weapon, fire rate will significantly increase. So obviously you get the kind of idea this weapon's getting at, right? Just a 6 shooter with an insanely fast fire rate that you have to earn. This weapon I feel like would be a very skill heavy kind of weapon, considering you'd have to earn the exotic effect, but I think it would be an alright exotic, you know? I don't think it would be anything crazy because, you know, the 6 shooter is still a 6 shooter, it's still garbage, but if you could get this thing off the ground, I think you'd have a good time with this weapon. Again, nothing crazy, but I think that extra magazine size, you know, kind of removing the point of calling it a 6 shooter, but that's besides the point. It having that effect kind of, you know, reward skilled players. I think this would be a solid exotic, you know, it'd be fun, but I don't think it would be anything crazy. I think it would just be an alright exotic. You'd see it, maybe pick it up once or twice, be like, oh, fun, this is cool, then never talk about it again. Kind of like the Marksman 6 shooter, if you think about it. Sort of like that. Next, we have the unstable Roulette sniper rifle. This is an exotic version of the Hunter bolt action sniper rifle, and the unstable Roulette sniper rifle will cycle between a fire effect, an icy effect, or frost effect, I guess you'd say, and a poison effect on every shot. So basically kind of think about it like the Frostfire, where first you get the fire effect, which could be sort of like maybe it lights builds on fire and like gives you like the pepper effect, you know, and then maybe the second shot in the clip gives the icy feat to your opponent if you hit them, or the frost effect where it slows them down, you know, kind of like that idea, like what the Frostfire has. So right now it's kind of basically like a Frostfire sniper. The third shot adds a poison effect that you could get, kind of like how the poison dart trap gives off a poison effect where it would take off 10 damage. I don't think it would be that much because this is a sniper, so you kind of have to balance it a little bit, so maybe like 5 damage every tick, you know. I think that'd be a little bit more balanced for a sniper because, you know, the poison dart trap is a trap, not a sniper where it's already dealing out good base damage. So I think that balances out the weapon a little bit, and I think this would be a solid exotic. You know, I don't think it would be anything crazy, but it definitely gives off something that they would do, considering they basically did this with the Frostfire, you know? So I think this would be a solid exotic, but I don't think it would be anything crazy. I feel like people would take it just because they want a sniper, not because the exotic effect is there. Kind of gives me like the same kind of vibe as the Frostfire. People take the Frostfire because it's a gold sentinel pump, not because of the exotic effect, you know what I'm saying? Most people couldn't care less about that effect. So I feel like I'm going to be saying that a lot about the exotics in this video. The exotic effects are just like a little bonus, not really a defining feature of the weapon, you know? Next, we have the unstable gravity rocket launcher. This is obviously an exotic version of the rocket launcher, and while holding the unstable gravity rocket launcher, you will be given the low gravity effect indefinitely. After exploding, the unstable gravity rocket launcher will leave behind a cloud that would give anyone who walks in it a low gravity effect. So this seems like a pretty fun exotic. Again, nothing too crazy, but I just think it's fun. I do think it would be a little bit of a downgrade of the last exotic RPG we got, being the Shockwave launcher, or Shockwave rocket launcher, I should say. You know, that's just like a top 10 exotic of all time, maybe even top 5, I would say. But, you know, I still think this would be a fun weapon, you know? Kind of gives off kind of like if you've played Minecraft and you know the lingering potions, like that's kind of what the cloud that it leaves behind would kind of give. So let's say you explode someone, you go in, to get their loot because you killed them with the explosion. Now you have low gravity. Now you can like shockwave way farther after killing someone, so in case you get third partied, you know, you don't have to worry about it as much. So I definitely think this exotic would be pretty decent, especially in a meta where there isn't a lot of mobility. Like, definitely think this would be a solid exotic. Definitely think it would be pretty fun to have. And also just having low gravity at all times would be pretty good. You know, another thing about it, you don't need the, well, I guess you do, because you only have it while holding. If you couldn't tell, I'm very tired recording this video. It is like 12 in the morning, but that's besides the point. Good exotic idea. Next up, we have the unstable Zapatron. This is an exotic version of the Zapatron, and while holding the unstable Zapatron, you'll be granted the slap effect indefinitely. When you eliminate an opponent with the unstable Zapatron, you'll be granted a speed boost for a short period of time. So this is a very simple exotic, but I think this will be a very fun exotic to play around with. Obviously, the slap effect is very good, so just having an item that gives you it indefinitely is always a benefit. It's always a plus. You would always take it, you know, it's just good for mobility, right? And the bonus like speed boost you get on a kill would also be very nice, because then you could just immediately rush to their loot, given that this is a sniper, and it would just basically help you rush loot, you know, make sure that you can actually get it, you know, quickly, so you don't have to worry about like third parties or whatever. And also, if you do happen to use this very close range, you could also use this to get out of a third party situation. So I think this would be a very solid exotic. It's not the craziest exotic in the world, but you know, it's fun. And also having an exotic Zapatron is just a cool idea in and of itself, you know? So I think this would be very fun. Very, very fun. Next, we have the unstable collector pistol. This is an exotic version of the sidearm pistol, and after reloading the unstable collector pistol, you'll be granted an effect from a random medallion for a short period of time. So kind of think about it like this. You shoot the clip, you reload, and now you get a random medallion effect. This would basically take from all the medallions we've had in the game, although I don't think I would really include like some of the collab medallions. I don't know if they really want to do that, or the chapter 5 season 1 medallions, considering we have the machinist medallion that basically just does that effect, right? So basically just exclude the collab medallions and the chapter 5 season 1 medallions, and yeah, you get that for a short period of time. You know, I also think it would probably exclude, I believe it does say in the comment to exclude like any medallions you're currently holding, which to be fair wouldn't be most of them, because usually only like 2 or 3 in the game at all times in modern day, so only have like 2 or 3 that wouldn't be added to the loot pool. It's only if you do have them. If you don't have them, then you're good to go. You get all the effects you can get, and it's like a little random chance thing, right? So you know, it could be cool. Also it has the ability to be updated in the future. You know, any new medallions they add can get added straight to this pistol. You know, reload, add. It's like a chapter 6 or a chapter 8 season 3 medallion, if those are still around in chapter 8. Who knows, maybe this game just like falls off a cliff somehow in like chapter 7 somehow. Probably not, but you never know. You never know. Next, we have the unstable power down hand cannon. This is an exotic version of specifically the conductor's hand cannon from chapter 5 season 3, just because it would have the attachments that that hand cannon has, and when the bullet from the unstable power down hand cannon lands on something, it will create an EMP explosion. Now this is a very simple exotic effect. Shoot it, EMP, easy. Very good for disabling vehicles. You know, I don't know how useful this would be against players. Maybe if it's like the shield breaker EMP, where the EMP does damage to only your opponent's shields, maybe it would be good. But doing 70 damage on a splash damage shot with a pistol would be kind of insane, so it would probably be a little bit weaker than that. So you know, probably do like only like 30 damage maybe, considering this is a slow firing pistol and you're only getting splash damage. Obviously, if you get a direct hit, it would be way more than that. So you could probably crack someone's shield if you hit a direct hit with this pistol. That would probably be very good, right? But yeah, very simple exotic, and I think it would be pretty good. Again, I don't know if you would really be carrying this for the exotic effect, but who knows, maybe you will. Maybe if we have another very vehicle heavy season, you could always bring this into the game and just be like, here is your vehicle counter for the season. You know, that could always work. So I think that'd be cool. Next, we have the unstable twin mag shotgun. Every other reload done with the unstable twin mag shotgun will be drastically faster. This is obviously an exotic version of the Oni shotgun, and very simple effect here. It's barely even an exotic effect, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like this weapon would be better as a new, like original weapon instead of a exotic version of an existing shotgun, especially the Oni shotgun, since that's kind of an underwhelming shotgun in my personal opinion. But yeah, every other reload done with the unstable twin mag shotgun would be drastically faster. It's just very simple. You know, I definitely think that would be a buff, but it's nothing crazy. It's a very simple exotic weapon in my personal opinion. Alright, next we have the unstable band hammer assault rifle. This is obviously an exotic version of the hammer assault rifle, as you could tell by the pun in the name. And every shot you hit with the unstable band hammer assault rifle has a small chance to disable the weapon your opponent is currently holding. So think about it like this. Your opponent starts spraying at you, and you start spraying at them back with this weapon. Now you hit a few shots, and you just happen to get lucky and their weapon gets disabled. They no longer can shoot you with that weapon for a short period of time. So you get a few more free shots while they have to force switch into a new weapon. And who knows, they might disable that weapon too. So you might just get really lucky and this weapon just basically cripples your opponent for the rest of the fight. And you are just in a great position and you win the fight like that. I feel like this weapon would be a very, very, very broken exotic, in my opinion. You know, the hammer is already a very good assault rifle, and just basically making it so your opponent can't fight back is a bit broken, in my personal opinion. And I think it'd be fun, but I don't see this lasting along the game, especially in competitive. This is a no-go in competitive whatsoever. And then finally, this should be the last weapon of the video. We have the unstable breacher revolver. This is an exotic version of the revolver, and every shot fired with the unstable breacher revolver has a good chance to deal drastically increased structure damage. Now, I know the original comments said to do a mammoth pistol, but one, I've already done an exotic unstable mammoth pistol in this series in a prior video, and two, the weapon description just kind of made it seem more revolver-ish, so I changed it to a revolver. Now, this probably would not be very good just because the breacher effect isn't guaranteed. You have to get lucky with it, unlike every other breacher kind of weapon where you have to just hit, the structure you're trying to break. So I don't think this would be actually a very good exotic. I think if you get lucky, you can definitely pack a punch with it, but if you get lucky, you can definitely pack a punch with it, but you have to get lucky, that's the problem. So I think, it probably wouldn't be that good. And again, the revolver in the first place is not a very good weapon, it's been outclassed, let's just say that, by a bunch of other weapons. So I don't think this would be a very good weapon. I don't think it would be very strong. I do think the breacher effect is good, but when you don't get it every time, it's definitely not as strong. So that's just my opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? Alright, if you guys enjoyed that video, consider leaving the like and subscribing and using code WATSOG in the Fortnite item shop. And yeah, that's about it. See you in the next one. Later.